Were they even more important this year during the debate?
I think, yeah, very much so, especially for the facial expressions. So both were quite reserved when it came to their hand gestures. And I noticed, for example, President Biden opened up with more double-handed gestures towards the end. But for the facial expressions were quite telling. And that's when we see the issues around comfort and discomfort. So if there's words that are getting said, like, for example, some of the strongest ones, I think when President Biden talked about inflation and about the economy was flat from no jobs, that's when you saw the clenching of jaw and a range of other items from former President Trump as well. So that it's instant, the facial micro expressions, but it's about being present because they go from 1/25th of a second through to 3 seconds. So we've really got to be on point to try and pick those up.
What does that body language convey?
There was a couple of times where his mouth opened suddenly out of shock and surprise. And I think when former President Trump mentioned the words as well, I think that about black people being super predators, there was a micro expression and a flash of surprise, but then fear. But generally, when he had his mouth open, that either happens for medical conditions or when people are trying to concentrate in deep concentration, or I say heavy cognitive load, and they're trying to get some additional oxygen as well to try and focus. So part of that, like, it was a mix of just him trying to have some deep focus during that time. But based on the words, the phrasing, the rhythm, I suppose, the speaking cadence he showed there, I don't think that it was very effective.